Hello. Welcome to Operation Remote Resilience. My name is Aron. I'm a certified Warriors of Ease teacher. Today, we're having an all levels yoga class designed to enhance loving kindness and compassion. And we'll be doing our physical practice and also weaving in a loving kindness meditation along with that. So go ahead and find an easy seated posture so that we can get started. Finding a posture that allows you to feel supported and at ease. And if you need to make any adjustments, you're always welcome to do that. And you can make adjustments anytime during our practice. I'm guiding you, but the practice is always yours. So listen to what you need in any moment. Let's start with getting focused in this moment, seeing if we can welcome in everything that's in our awareness right now. Using all of our senses, noticing what you see, hear, smell, taste. Noticing what you can feel physically about being in this space right now. Letting that awareness move into sensing your body. All the muscles and bones, joints and organs. And if you need to move a little bit or shift to get a little more supported, a little more at ease, remember you can always do that. And then perhaps you can start to welcome in some stillness. Begin to be aware that you're breathing. You don't even need to change anything. Simply become aware that the body breathes itself all on its own. There's nothing you need to change. Feeling the breath move through the whole body. Maybe you can feel the rise and fall of the chest and belly. Maybe you can feel the breath moving past your nostrils or your lips or the back of your throat. And it's okay if you find that your mind wanders. It's our mind's job to think. But as soon as you notice that, see if you can bring that awareness back to your breath and back to your sensing. Without any judgment. We're going to start this loving kindness meditation that we're weaving into our physical practice with ourselves. So finding that sense of loving kindness and compassion and extending it to yourself. If it's helpful, maybe even repeat silently to yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful. Let's take a deep breath together. Fill the lungs up from the bottom to the top, front to back, side to side. The lungs get full of air. And we exhale and let that go. And if that felt good, you are welcome to repeat it. Inhaling deeply in all directions. Exhaling to let that go. Beautiful. We're going to warm up our spine a little bit. And to do that, we're going to come onto our hands and knees. And as you come onto your hands and knees, if you want to take a little break before you start moving, you're always welcome to take a rest. One way that people sometimes like to rest is to take the knees wide and the hips back towards the heels and to round down towards the mat. This is a child's pose. And once again, you can come back to this if you ever want to. If you want to catch your breath or get refocused, or if there's another posture where you feel restful, you can come into that. And then when you're ready to come back to moving, you can rejoin us. So let's go ahead and find a tabletop posture. We're going to bring our wrists right underneath our shoulders and spread the fingertips wide. And we're going to take those knees in a little bit and step them back so they're right underneath the hips so that we're able to have a long line from our tailbone to the top of the head. We're looking down between the fingertips. And the arms are strong. We're pressing our fingertips into the earth. Feel that long spine, maybe even feel that firmness in the muscles around the trunk of your body. And then we're going to warm up. Inhale. Let the belly soften. Lift the tailbone. Lift the chest. The arms are still strong. Exhale, keeping those strong arms. We're going to round the shoulders, dome up the back, tuck the tailbone, look back at the thighs. And then let's roll through this a few times, warming up our spine. Inhale, lift into that cow posture, arching the back. Exhale, rounding into that cat posture. And go ahead and do this on your own. Your breath rhythm might be a little different than mine, and that's fine. Find what works for you. Maybe one more time through, one more inhale, one more exhale. Coming back through that flat back, that long spine. We're going to start to come up to standing. And I'm going to take us to standing through downward facing dog. If you want to skip that, you can. You can come up to standing any way that works for you. If you're going to follow me to downward facing dog, we're going to slide the hands forward so that now the wrists are in front of the shoulders. We're going to tuck our toes under so the pads of our toes start to come down to the earth. And we're going to use the strength in the middle part of our body to help us lift up our knees, but we're going to keep the knees bent and then push the front of the mat away as we bring our chest towards our thighs. So this way we get a nice long spine again. Arms are still strong. Your legs might start to lengthen a little bit, pressing the heels down towards the mat. You're in this inverted V, this downward facing dog, but if straightening your legs makes you round your back and shift your weight over your wrists like you're coming into a plank, then bend your knees as much as you need to. See if you can get that sense that your spine is long again. See if you can feel that again, just like you felt it when you were in downward facing dog. When you were in tabletop. And then we're all going to bend our knees a little bit more. Look up at the fingertips. We can step the hands and feet together. Step the feet a little wider. We're going to do a forward fold a little bit. Get some release along the back side of our body. You could have your hands on the mat. You can have your hands on a block. Slide them up against the front of your legs. Remember, it's okay to keep the knees bent. It's all right. Maybe even bend one knee and then the other and sway a little bit. If you like gravity to help you out here, you can grab the elbows. And if any of this makes you dizzy, slide your hands up above your knees, drop the hips, and bring the head above the heart. You can still round through the back. And let's release some of that tension that we might be carrying in our shoulders and our neck. Maybe shake head yes or shake head no. And then we'll bring our hands up to our hips. All of us are going to bend our knees a little bit more and lower our hips, pressing into the heels, and use those thigh muscles to come up to standing. And we can shake that out. All right. And then once we're standing up, let's move far enough forward on our mat that we have room to step back. In a little bit, we're going to be stepping back. So we'll just start up here. If you have any gear, just make sure it's out of your way so you have room to do that. And we're going to step our feet back to a little closer to each other, not necessarily where they're touching, but about hips distance. Let the toes point forward to the best of your ability. See if you can feel that sense that you're rooting down through the soles of your feet. Can you feel your heels, the outside edges, the big toes pressing down? Feeling that strength in your legs, feeling that strength move up the sides of your body to the top of your head, and still letting in a sense of ease in your forehead, your jaw, letting the shoulders drop from the ears, letting the chest open. We're just going to rotate the belly of the arms and the palms of the hands forward. Feel how that lets you open the chest, shoulder blades slide down your back. Let those knees soften just a bit so the legs aren't rigid. And let's take a breath here and maybe bringing back that sense of compassion, that loving kindness. And this time extending it to your loved ones. If you want to repeat to yourself, may they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be peaceful. Let's inhale, reach the arms overhead, interlace the fingers. Biceps can come by the ears, and exhale into a side bend. And you can do other modifications of the side bend. You could have one arm over your head and the other hand on your hip. You could have both arms at your sides. So lots of ways to make this work for you. See, you can still press through the heels. You can even turn the head and look up under that top arm if your arms are overhead. Inhale back to center. And exhale to the other side. Inhale. Let's come back to center. Exhale, release the arms. We're going to do one sun breath. So we're going to inhale, reach the arms up overhead again. And then exhale, bring the hands right down to the heart. You might even feel the heartbeat for a moment here. Inhale, reach the arms in front. Let the palms face forward. Let the hips come forward. Let the chest lift up. We're coming into a little bit of a back bend here. Listen to your body. If it starts to cause you pain or if you can't breathe, come out of it a little. Exhale. We're going to hinge through the hips and fold again. Remember, it's okay to bend the knees. And let the top of the head be heavy. Whatever variation you're in, remember you can use the front of your legs or a block. And then bend the knees a little more, press to the heels. Inhale, let's come back to that mountain. Beautiful. We're going to change this a little bit and do a warrior series. So let's come back and let our feet open up out to the sides. I'm going to move this block so you can see that my toes are rotated to point to the front. So we're trying to take the feet out pretty wide. It might feel a little bit awkward. We're not used to stepping this wide. We're stepping so wide that if your arms are extended, the ankles are pretty much under the wrists. And let's go ahead and extend the arms up. Our body is still facing the same direction as our toes. Our body's centered right over the pelvis. So shoulders, everything's all in a line. And we're going to turn that right foot to the side, point the toes out to the right. So right foot turns to point to the right. And if you look down that right foot, if you drew a line straight back, would intersect with that left foot. That's going to help you stay balanced. And then we're going to start to bend that right knee. You can bend it a little. You can bend it until it's right over the ankle. But if you notice that it's coming way over the ankle, maybe back it off a little bit. Or maybe take a bigger step so that you can keep it over the ankle. And we're also going to keep it over the leg, ankle, and the other plane. So if you look down, your knee, see if you can get it to line up with that second and third toe. If it's drifting to the inside, then we've released some of that muscle tension here. See if you can use that strength in your thigh, open up in that hip flexor. And then we're going to turn and look over that right shoulder. And then we're going to turn our right palm to the sky, shift forward a little bit. So our right shoulder's coming towards that right knee. And then we're going to tilt the whole body back into peaceful warrior. That back leg is still strong. We can keep that leg strong by pressing to the outside edge of that left foot. Take a couple breaths here. And then inhale, come back into that warrior two stance. We're going to straighten that right leg. We're going to drop the arms. The body's still centered now. And we're going to slide into a triangle. So we're going to slide that right hand down the right leg. That left hand can stay at your side or your hip. Or if you want, you can reach it to the sky. And we still want to keep the body rotated to the front. So as you slide that right hand down, if you notice that you come down so low that your body starts to twist this way, and slide the hand up a little higher so that you can keep the left shoulder over the right shoulder. And it's not from yanking the shoulder back. You'll feel that. If you yank that shoulder back, that can cause some strain in your shoulder. It's from rotating into the torso. So we're turning the body forward. See if you can feel the difference there. One more breath. Inhale, let's come back up. And we're going to turn the right foot back to the front. We're going to do that sequence on the other side. So turning our left toes out, getting that good alignment, left heel with the instep of the right foot. We're going to bend that left knee. See if we can keep that knee aligned. If you need to make any adjustments, go ahead. It's okay. Sometimes as we transition, we try something different. It takes a little time to get settled into it. It may feel a little different. So take your time, notice what you're feeling. See if you can feel that strength in that right leg as you press the outside edge down. See if you can feel that openness in the left hip as you keep that knee aligned. And then you can look out over the middle finger of the left hand or over the left shoulder. And then we're going to change this to that peaceful warrior. Reaching forward. I can move my hand, the wall is there. And then tilt back. Keeping that strength in the legs. Again, as we transition from one to the other, sometimes it's easy to let go of some of that strength. So see if you can bring your awareness back to what you're feeling. Keep that strength in the legs as you open up through the left side of the body in this peaceful warrior. I have my right hand sliding down the right leg, but you can also have that on your hips. So there's different ways to do this, what allows you to find balance. People even like to tuck the hand behind their head and use just the strength of their torso. You can always challenge yourself more if you're having a day where you want more challenge. Let's come back to warrior two. Let's straighten the left leg, drop the arms, and come into that triangle, sliding left hand down, left leg, breathing here. See if you can be aware of that rotation in the body. See if we can keep that right shoulder over the left shoulder, without yanking the shoulder back. It's all from opening up here. And if you need to move the hands a little higher to find that, go ahead. That reach to the floor will change with time, but we want to make sure we're getting there safely. So let's keep that rotation. One more breath. Inhale, let's come back up. Drop the arms, point the toe forward. We can heel toe the feet in. Let's come back to a mountain posture. We're going to be doing our balance postures next. So you can stay on your mat, or if you want to move off your mat to a more stable surface, you can. Or if you want to move near a wall or a sturdy chair for support, you can. We're going to bring back again that sense of compassion. This time, extending it out a little bit more, maybe to your neighbors, coworkers, people you know, people in your community, maybe not as close to you as your family, or maybe closer. Sort of extending that out a little bit. And once again, if it's helpful to you, you can say to yourself, may they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be peaceful. And we'll start to move into that balanced posture. Maybe picking up that right heel, opening that right knee out to the side, sliding the heel to the leg. It might be a little kickstand above the ankle. It might be further up the leg. Just make sure you're not pressing against the knee. And again, if you need some support, you can use a wall or a chair. And if you need to take a moment to reset, you can put that foot down. We're not going to stay in tree long. We're going to change this. Bring that knee forward. Maybe give it a little lift. If you need to take a break between, you can. We're rotating through that hip so that we can open through the hip flexor, open through the chest in a dancer posture. See if you can point those right toes down to the earth. When I point mine down, I feel a strong contraction in the back of my right thigh and my seat. You may feel something different. Whatever you experience is perfect. Just notice what you're experiencing, and then let's bring that right foot down. Maybe give some gratitude to that left leg for all that support. And then we're going to switch sides. So coming back to that mountain, resetting here, shifting weight to the right foot. Let's bend the left knee, open it up, find our tree. Take a couple breaths. You may notice that if you use a focal point, either an internal focal point by closing your eyes or just focusing on what's happening in your body, or maybe an external focal point, maybe a point in front of you that's not moving. See how that impacts your balance? And then we can change this to dancer first by bringing the knee forward and giving it a little lift, and then rotating through the hip. Let's flex the left toes this time. What do we notice in the back of that left leg? And as we balance, can you still stay open in the front of the body? Maybe even lifting that leg a little higher. Can we get that openness in that hip flexor? Let's take another breath and lower that down. Shake it out. We're going to come down to the mat and do a little bit of work there. So you can come down any way that works for you. I'm going to come into a forward fold with my legs a little wider just to get there, but you can do whatever you want. And we're going to come all the way back down to our hands and knees. If you want to come into child's pose for a moment, you can. We're going to come back into that sense of compassion or loving kindness. And this time, maybe thinking about a person or maybe people that challenge you. Maybe even someone that you feel like you don't like very much. See if we can extend that sense of loving kindness to them. And once again, you can use that mantra or that thought of may they be happy, may they be healthy, may they be free from suffering. Let's take one more breath, and we'll come into a tabletop to transition into a lunge with the right foot forward. Or if you want to come up to kneeling and then step forward again, whatever helps you get into this posture where the right ankle is right underneath the right knee. If you need any extra cushion on that back knee, you can maybe roll up a towel or a blanket or double up your mat. And then we're going to see if we can open up even more in that left hip crease. So maybe use your hands on your thigh to see if you can drop that hip down. If you like being a little bit lower, you can. You can use your hands right next to your feet. You can do it that way too, or maybe use blocks or a couple books. So make this work for you. We're going to take one more breath, and then we're going to switch sides. So left foot comes forward, right hip drops down. See if you can keep the chest open. There might be a tendency to want to round forward, especially if your hands are on the mat and you have kind of short arms like I do. So again, that's where you might bring in some blocks or books, or you may shift to the thigh. See if you can use that. Once again, draw those shoulder blades down the back, let those shoulders drop from the ears, and then let that right hip get heavy and feel what happens there. One more breath. And then let's come back to our knees. We're going to open up a little more in the front body. So I'm going to show you how to do camel from your knees. If being on your knees, I know if we're on our knees a lot, maybe you just feel like they're bothering you. You can do this seated as well. So you can come around on your seat and do the same opening. You can even have the legs extended. So remember, you can always modify this. And I'm going to turn so that you can see where I'm going to put my hands. So I'm going to start, and we'll inhale and bring our hands to the top of our hips with the fingertips pointing down. So it's like they're going in the pockets of your pants. You can let the tops of your feet rest on the mat so the toenails are touching, or you can tuck them under. Sometimes it's nice here to get a stretch on the bottom of the feet. So Again, do what works best for you. And we'll inhale, draw the shoulder blades back, lift the chest, let the hip points come forward. I have a neck injury, so I'm going to keep my gaze forward. If it's okay for your neck and it feels good, you can look up. But see if most of this opening in the front can come from this part of your spine, the thoracic spine, so that we're opening up through the chest. You can stay here. Some people like to reach back to their heels, so if that's part of your practice, you can. But if that doesn't feel right to you, or if you come back here and you can't breathe, don't worry about it. You're still getting opening here. Let's take one more breath. And let's come out of it, shake it out, shake the hands out. And we're going to come over onto our backs. So we're going to come onto our backs with bent knees, feet on the mat, and we're going to lie all the way down. You can slowly get there. Take your time. Walking the heels in a little closer to the seat. Hands next to the hips, palms down. Let's press into the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet. Press into the forearms. Press into the triceps, the back of the arms. And use all that downward pressure to start to lift the hips. Lift the low back, lift the middle back. If you get to your shoulder blades, you may tuck them under to lift the chest. You can keep the hands where they are. Some people like to interlace the fingers underneath their seat and draw the knuckles towards the heels. Once again, checking in that you're connected to the earth through the soles of the feet. Can you feel the outside edges, big toes and heels pressing down? Maybe checking in with those knees. If they come out to the side, see if you can shift some of your pressure into that big toe to bring them back in line with the hips. And vice versa, if the knees are drawing in towards each other, maybe shift some of your weight to the outside edges to get them back in line. Do you feel how changing that pressure can change that alignment? And if your fingers are interlaced, let's inhale to release them, and then exhale, slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. We've done a lot of opening in the front of the body, so let's do a little counter pose here. Maybe hug the knees in. You can keep the knees in the center. You can rock a little bit here, side to side. You can stay still. Some people like to take the knees wide, either into a butterfly with the feet together, or with the soles of the feet up to the sky in happy baby. So feel free to experiment what feels best for you here. And then if knees are wide, we'll bring them back to the middle, put the feet down. We're going to open up a little bit more, and then we'll get a chance to rest. So right ankle over left knee. This makes a figure 4. You can stay here, or you can lift the left foot up and hug the leg in, make a little movement through the joints of the left leg if you feel like that's going to help you rest in a couple minutes. And then if that left foot's lifted, we'll bring it down. And we can let the arms come out to the side, and they can either be in a T shape, or they can be like cactus arms. Either way, see if you can really feel nice and connected to the earth through the shoulder blades as you allow your legs to twist over to the left. And if you need to shift the hips or change the crossing of the legs, go ahead. If you need a little support under your legs, you can put some support there, maybe a block or a pillow. Notice how you feel. We're going to bring it back to the middle. Inhale. And shift to the other side. So right foot is down, left ankle over right knee. Same thing. You can stay here just like this. Nothing needs to change. Or if you want to, you can hug the leg in. Maybe make some movements here. If you're like me, there might be some snap, crackle, pop when you move. And as long as it's not painful, that's okay. Here's my knee. Let's bring that right foot back down if it's lifted. Take the arms back to the side so that we can root down through the shoulders. And we'll twist to the other side. Coming back to the center, inhale. Lower that left foot down. If there's any other movement or any other shape that you want to come into, you're welcome to do that now. And then when you're ready, go ahead and find a posture where you can feel supported and at ease for a few minutes so that you can rest. We'll take one more moment to welcome in a sense of compassion, loving kindness. This time, extending that out to all beings, everywhere. And if it's helpful to you, again, you can repeat those words to yourself. May all beings everywhere be healthy. May all beings everywhere be happy. May all beings everywhere be peaceful. And then you can rest. Your eyes can soften. They can close if you want. You can use anything to help you feel supported and at ease, any blankets or pillows or anything. If you've been controlling your breath during our physical practice, let that control release. This is your time to rest. Just let your body breathe all on its own. There's nothing extra you need to do. Simply observing everything that's in your awareness. Noticing how all your experiences come and go. Letting everything be just as it is. Letting yourself simply be. You can rest as long as you want. I'm going to sign off. So when you're ready to come back into your day, you can make small movements and stretch. Notice how you feel, and if there's anything from our practice that you want to take with you into your daily life or into your next practice. And give yourself some gratitude for taking time for your health and wellness. And I thank you for sharing your practice with me and for joining me for Operation Remote Resilience. I hope you enjoyed our practice today. This video will be available to the public shortly on the Warriors at Ease YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our practices. And if you get a chance, please visit the link in the description below. Consider making a donation so that we can continue to make these classes and these practices free for everyone. It's viewers like you that make it possible for teachers like me to continue to share these practices. So this is Aron signing off from Operation Remote Resilience, Health, Resilience, and Connection. Thank you again.